Yo, what's up? Welcome back. 171, baby. Let's go. Um, okay, let me find a problem for us to do. Uh, let's see. Little late episode, but it's alright. Sometimes they gotta be late. Okay. 1500. Here, let me share my screen, bro.
Okay.
I think I'm up to this one, yeah. Longest. Yeah, you're given a string S that consists of lowercase characters. Hang on, let me set this up. Oh my god, dude. Okay.
So this is a sliding window problem.
I haven't even read it. Given a string S that consists of English characters, a string called special if it is made up of only a single character. For example, the string ABC is not special, whereas the strings DD, ZZ, and F is special. Return the length of the longest special string of S, which occurs at least thrice. What the fuck does thrice mean?
3 times.
uh, -1 if no special substring occurs at least thrice. The longest special substring shown here is 2. So is thrice 2 or is it 3?
So thrice means it's saying that it occurs 3 times.
Oh. So yeah, it probably is a sliding window then. -1 if no special substring occurs at least thrice. Take a look at these test cases. Longest special substring which occurs thrice is AA. Substrings AA.
So it seems like the substring could even be like 1 character. Yeah.
But there needs to be at least 3 characters, right?
No, it just needs to be like repeating. It looks like DDD,
3
ZZ,
times. Well,
FF.
I feel so fucked, man. 3. What's up, guys? How you doing? 3 times. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out exactly what the problem's asking.
Like it's just trying to find the maximum length substring that occurs at least 3 times.
The maximum. Okay. But then why is it 2 here?
Because that's the length of the substring.
Okay.
It highlights it in the explanation. Like it's AA because it occurs at the first index to the second index to the third index, and then the third index to the fourth index.
Yeah, hang on. I'm 19. Why does everything feel so off? I don't know. Getting really bad thoughts. What should I do? The fuck? You okay, bro? You chilling, Codex, dude? I'm sorry you feel like that, bro. Occurs at least 3 times in the string. PCA occurs 3 times. If it's made up of only a single character, a string is called special. String ABC is not special, whereas the strings DD, ZZ, and F are special. Return the length of the longest special substring of S, which occurs at least thrice, or -1 if no special. Not really, man. Tried too many things out of everything falls. I don't know what I'll do in life. What things are you trying, bro? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's been happening? I'm sorry you're feeling like that, bro. Okay, so we get a special. So a special string is something that only has one character in it, right? So D, D, Z, Z, F. I get that, right? We return the longest special substring of S, which occurs at least thrice. So wouldn't the longest special substring here just be 4? Because it's all the same?
But it doesn't occur 3 times. It has to occur. Well, I mean, look at the string. How many times does the substring A appear in the string S?
Oh, okay, okay.
It appears once. So, like, we have to identify a special substring and then see how many times it shows up. Like, we have to find the longest repeating substring, and then we have to slide a window and see, you know, how many times.
I understand. Yeah. Just focus on your passion, develop skills and health, not on making money. Or why not use Java?
Java is trash.
There you go. You heard it first, dude.
I did Java for the first 10 years of my life, and ever since I switched to C++, I've never looked back.
So you can have one character strings that are also considered special as well.
Right, because like if you scroll down to example 3, you can see that the longest repeating special string is length 1.
Because we have A, right?
Right. Like second is B.
Right. But we wouldn't be like. But if like A only had 2 A's, we'd return -1, right? Because we need at least 3.
Right. Exactly.
Why is it sticky over here? The fuck? Okay. So here we have 4 A's, so we can get like a special substring which occurs thrice is A substring. Right, the longest would be 2 here because we can go AA. We can't go like 3 A's, right? Then we go 3 A's. We need at least 3 times, right? That's why it wouldn't be 3. Okay.
Yes.
I'm understanding. Bro, why not use Java as a fresher? What language would you recommend me to do? I already know Java and Python. Go for Java.
No, do not go for Java, bro. Java teaches you nothing about how the computer actually works. Go for C. If you go for C, you'll learn how the memory is actually managed and the size of actual variables that you're working with, and understands how pointers work and how, you know, leaked memory occurs and how pointer math works. Those are all fundamental skills you can't build if you go with something like Java or Python. You're shooting yourself in the foot long term if you go for something like Java or Python.
You heard that first, dude. There you go. Okay, so the first thing is we need to figure out what every substring that's special, right? That's the first step. So one being figure out what strings are special, right?
Yeah.
And then two, what, apply like sliding window, right?
Yeah. Like we could ultimately maybe even use a map or something like that. That maps like, from like once we identify the special strings, while we're sliding the window, we could go through and just increment the map and then return the max of the map at the end. Something like that.
Yeah. Trying to think here. Special made up only single character.
I'm gonna go grab some water real quick. I'll be right back.
Alright, bro. The strings DD, ZZ, and F are special. Trying to think here how we generate all these special substrings, dude. So it's considered special if this problem is like fucking messing with my head a little bit, dude. String is called special if it's made up of only a single character. For example, the string ABC is not special, whereas the strings DD, ZZ, and F are special. Because they're... Yeah, I know I have to use a loop. I'm just trying to think of a way that I can make this work. Count the number of letters. Is that all it is? Just counting the number of letters, do you think? I feel like there's more to that a little bit, but... Current is more than 3.1. Yeah. Else print -1. Can use substring, I guess. Yeah. I'm just trying to think. I like to really like think about the problem. Like, one thing about me is I think like super deeply, probably over too deeply for a problem, but I just like to really fully understand everything before I start writing any code or any shit on the screen. So and I consider myself a slow thinker in a way, but can use substring, I guess. Yeah. Trying to think about it, dude.
Okay, I'm back.
What's up, bro? So I'm thinking, right, like what you said earlier. I think you said a hash map, but I'm thinking maybe like a set, right, to store the special substrings, right? Trying to think about how we would store the substrings, right? You probably wouldn't want to loop through it just like with an average loop and count the go for binary search. Binary search wouldn't work here, bro.
How the fuck would we apply binary search to this?
Yeah, no binary search, bro. Shit. Okay. I'm thinking, are we gonna have to like apply this like substrings here, or do we count each letter? Right, counting each letter is not gonna work because we are looking for substrings, right? Like, We're looking for.
I think the very first thing that we should do is just like iterate through and then store a map with all the like substrings and like their counts, like how often they occur. Because we could probably do that in one pass.
Yeah. But I understand that. But I'm saying like when you say storing the substrings, we're not going through with an I and storing each letter, right? We actually have to really think about the substring here. So what would we use? Like some sort of index and whatever I, hang on, let's just copy
We'd
this.
probably have to like use 2 pointers, right? So if we find a character, we have the first pointer moved to that character, and then as long as like the consecutive characters after that are the same as that first character, we continue to increment the second pointer, and then we just store the substring. So like we have I and J, and then we would find,
Okay.
like, so for example, this S string on example 1, we would store like uh A, and A, right? And then we would see which one occurs at least 3 times, essentially, after that. Oh, and like there would be an edge case
Oh, okay.
because
I was thinking of using a set, like in a way, and just storing um, all of the substrings, right? Because like using a set, like you can grab this element, like maybe we can have an I here, right? And use some sort of slice and have this element, then have, slice and grab these elements, right? And then move our I here, grab these elements, right?
that could work.
And then moving our I again here, grabbing these elements, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, you use a set, obviously that's not going to count or whatever, but, okay, let me code. If n is equal to size, in I is equal to 1, r is equal to n, if not helper, return -1.
Is he talking about binary searching on the lengths? I mean, maybe, but that's not the problem we're trying to solve right now, bro. We're trying to identify the lengths of the substring first.
Well,
Can't use
you're
binary
saying
search
like
that.
2 pointers like this, or what are you saying? Like, where's I and J, or I is here and J is here, and you check if they're
Right. So like we'd say like I is equal to A, and then we could have a while loop that just increments J until J doesn't equal the character that I represents.
okay.
And technically, like we should store each substring on each like iteration, like we increment the second pointer. We'd have to store A and then AA and then AAA and then AAAA, right?
Yeah. Okay. Um. Hmm. Is there a slicing function in C++?
You can use std span, and you can get like you can just pass in iterators.
Is there a
Uh,
dot substring? Oh no, or like a
yeah,
substring?
there's a substring uh, function on strings.
I think this guy is going on about binary search in the chat. I don't know.
You could use a binary search on like the lengths if they were sorted, but that just seems kind of unnecessary here, and that's also just not the problem we're trying to solve right now.
Let's open this. What is this problem called, dude? Oh my gosh. 2981. Let's see if it generates properly. Oh, fucked it up, right?
No, you're good.
This is
I
good.
think. Oh wait, let me see. Hold on,
It's
I was
got
looking
like
at your.
some random shit in it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I wasn't looking at your screen. I was looking at your stream. Yeah, you need to remove the
Just-
and quote from the beginning and from the end. If you just search for it, like Control F,
Control F.
and then like click the down arrow to the left, and then click the button all the way to the right on the second row.
This one. Replace all.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a colon here. Okay.
Oh, and line 33.
Line 33. Oh shit. Okay, so
So like we could,
I'm thinking
since okay, repeating substrings are only of the same character, right?
right.
So we could keep like a unordered map of like pairs of char to int, and then map to int, right?
Pairs of char to int and map to int.
Because the char would represent the character, and then the length would represent the length of the series. Excuse me.
Okay. Can you explain it a little more to me? Like, just so I can on the right track what you're saying. I was thinking about using a set, but for the special characters, but maybe your way probably does sound better. So,
Well, yeah, we definitely need a map in order to store, like, you know, like it's basically a frequency map. Like
yeah,
how
storing
often,
the
how many
counts of each
times.
substring, right?
Yeah. So like type std map.
Oh my gosh, SCD map, unordered map.
Sure. Yeah, I like unordered map. And then use like std pair of char to int. Well, you need the
Oh
what's it
shit.
called? The template parameters.
What is that, like this or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then you need std pair from like char to int.
I can't remember how to do this. Is it like this or
No,
no?
so pair is also templated.
Pair is also templated. I don't know what you mean by that, dude, to be honest. Let me search it up. I don't know the syntax.
Like this. I typed it in Discord.
Okay.
And then you can just call this like count or frequency or something like that.
Okay.
And then now like the first part would just be to iterate through and find like all the special substrings. So like I usually like to use like a double while loop for this, right? Like have an outer while condition to go through the whole string, and then have an inner while loop to
Can't
like
we
extend the
can't we
second
do it
pointer.
the way that I thought about earlier with the dot substring? Would that work? I don't
Well,
know. I feel like getting the prefix and then the suffix of the index that we're currently looking at.
yeah, I guess type it out like whatever you're thinking earlier.
I is equal to 1. I less than s dot size.
Also, if we end up needing binary search, C++ has a included implementation in the algorithm header, which is nice.
Okay. How would we insert in this map? Is it count frequency dot insert? Okay, that works. What are we storing? So we're storing the. I guess we probably need, instead of storing a char, we'd probably need to store a string, right? If we're using a substring function instead of using, is it C
well,
or
I
C++?
mean,
C++, sci-fi
at that
notation.
at that point, we wouldn't even want to store a pair. A pair is just being smart about things because we know that the substring is going to contain only the same characters.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, I understand. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the key is a tuple, right? Or a pair.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is the character. How many times does it appear in a row? And then how many times does that appear? Right? That's the second int.
Okay.
So
I
like
was
that's what I was saying that we should go through with like a double while loop and 2 pointers.
Wait, sorry. Can you say again what? So what exactly is the char again? Like, what are we storing here in the char? The
I mean, it'd probably be better if you just go to the examples so you could think about it. Like if you look at one of the example strings, like we have a,
because
right?
I was thinking of using this, right, and then having a, using the dot substring method here, storing the string and then counting it with the frequency.
I mean, yeah,
Using the prefix and the suffix of,
that would also work probably.
but it's probably a lot slower, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, using strings is like a heap allocated object, so it'll always just be slower due to interaction. Like if we just explicitly store a star, that's or a char, that's a stack allocated variable.
Right. I'm probably gonna do it this way just because, I kind of want to go to bed soon, but
Yeah,
I
this
feel
should
like I
probably
gotta
work.
learn and solve it my own way, right? Like technically, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely not trying to solve it for you.
Start substring. How does this work here? Let's have a look. Substring. Substring C++.
So it's like the string dot sub str, and then you pass in the indices that you want.
So we'd probably go from what 0 to what we're currently looking at for this one.
So you're just going to store every single substring from.
This would be the prefix, and then you store substring. You go from I to what, probably s dot size or something, right? Will that work? I think. Is this?
Yeah, it's not really how the insert function works. You typically need to insert so a map again takes, it's like essentially storing pairs.
Yeah, key value, right? But how?
So that's your key. You need to now pass it your value, and you need to do a call to the pair constructor. So you need to pass a string and an integer.
Okay.
And it should have perfect forwarding with like R values. So if you just pass two R values, it should forward to the pair constructor.
Okay, so it's not how dot insert works. So you're saying like, oh my gosh.
Well, no, I mean, like in the insert method, you can just do two squiggly braces, right? And then
Two squiggly braces. Sorry, dude. I'm so lost. I don't know what you're saying. I don't even know what the dot. I'm trying to figure out what the dot insert method does. So this uses.
You're trying to insert a pair. That's what it wants you to do. Like that's how the dot insert method works.
Okay.
Like you're only supplying a string.
When you say pair, you mean like a tuple, right? That's what I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of the difference, right?
I mean, like conceptually, yes, but STD pair is different than STD tuple. Like those are two separate concepts in C++. A pair only stores like a key value, and then a tuple can store in things.
This is driving me insane.
Well, so I'm just trying to walk you through it. Like in the insert function,
Yeah.
right? Like just cut the s dot substring. Just put that on your clipboard, and then do an opening and closing squiggly,
Like this.
and then you want to and then notice how our error went away.
Yeah.
That's because you're just inserting an empty pair now. So for the first element in the pair, what's the first element in our unordered map? Like what are we mapping from to?
We want the key to be the string, and then the value to be the integer of like the count.
Right. So I want you to first paste the substring in the first parameter inside the squiggly. And then you need a closing parentheses. And then now you need to supply a count, comma, and then some integer.
I guess. How would we increment the?
Well, so you're trying to solve it in like the way that you were thinking about. I'm not sure what you were thinking about earlier. Like I have a different way to solve it, like using the pair of char and int.
Yeah, right now I'm just trying to use a prefix and a suffix to count the amount of times we see it. Does that work?
I don't think that you could. I don't think that you could possibly do that, like with the way that you structured it currently. Because I mean, like all you're doing right now is you're just iterating through the length of the string, and you're taking a substring from 0 to I, and then I to the max of the length of the string. Like, how could you then tell how many times it's occurred in the string?
I guess I'm just lost with the methods that I'm using. I think I'm not.
Maybe try solving it first in Python, and then we can translate exact. Because like I feel like you know what you're trying to think about, but you just don't know how to express it in C++. And I also don't understand what you're thinking about. I guess so I can't really help. Like just try jotting it out in Python. Like at least just this part, like the first part where you go through the string and you count all the groups of characters and then count their frequency in the string.
Okay. Okay. What was I doing? Okay, so for I in range 1 to the length of
Yeah.
nums.
So you're going from the second character in the string to the length to the max character, right? That's your
Yeah.
range.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. Using a set here. Well, I originally thought about a set. What do I want to do here? I would want to do hashy dot add. We want to take the from our current there to our I, which takes our prefix hashy dot add s from I to hi bro G 2027. What's up, bro? Jeez, man.
You can pass a range to the subscript operator in Python. That's pretty cool, actually. I didn't know that.
Yeah. The length of
Don't you want like I to length?
yeah, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I can't, dude. Sometimes I forget how to slice in Python, dude. I always forget which one's inclusive and which one's exclusive. Like,
I would assume it's inclusive.
slice Python. I think it's inclusive. This is exclusive. I think.
Yeah, like it starts at the range and then it goes like one right before the end of the range.
Yeah, let's see what this gives us. Let's just print the hash here. Let's see what this gives us.
This is kind of just like a variation on the find longest occurring substring, right? Yeah, see, so yeah.
But really, we'd want 4 too, right? Technically.
Yeah. Right. I mean, honestly, we don't need it because that's if I guess yeah, yes, we would want it. Like just in this case we don't need it, but I guess like it wouldn't be the worst thing to cache.
So what am I missing here? Does this have to be to the length of s plus 1?
Wouldn't you get an out of bounds exception or bro, Python is so weird.
We're getting an empty here.
Like bro, looking at this kind of just hurts my brain.
Onto the length of s plus 1. Why are we getting an empty?
Well, because I assume that you're going past the bounds of the string, but I have no clue. I guess like what I don't really know how this is working under the hood.
Hang on.
Seems very strange.
I'm honestly not sure. I have to check. Why am I getting empty string here?
I assume you wouldn't want to iterate like past the length of the string. You'd probably just want to add +1 dot I.
Why is this getting empty string? It comes from this line when I is equal to length s. To avoid empty string, you can add a check. They told me to... Not n. Whoops, this would be the length of s. Oh my gosh, dude, I hate this shit. Hey, see here. Hope you get a job soon. Best of luck. I'll tell you something. If you take my name...
That guy's an Andrew Tate follower. I checked his channel.
Hey, Red CJ. Hey, Reed Chat. Hey, yeah, sorry, I'm reading your stuff. My bad. I was locked into looking at this, dude. Sorry, my bad. How you doing, bro? Okay, so I guess that worked, but what is this doing? Length of s minus I. What?
Well, so like, you know, we have 4, and then you have -0, -1, or -1, -2, -3.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I understand. Yeah. Okay. I guess we could have just done like an if check. You know, if it is empty, we could just remove it, but I mean, it's whatever. But anyway. Okay. So now we have our strings that we're looking at. So what do we want to do here now? Well, we probably want to
Well, so now, I guess like with the approach that you're going for, right, you'd need like a nested loop in order to check each permutation.
Yeah, I think there's use augment code, bro, or at least ChatGPT.
What?
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah. I will look into that. I just used ChatGPT to explain to me why I was getting the empty string, so So what are we returning here? We're returning the number? right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're returning the length of the substring that occurs at least 3 times, right? But
Oh, the length of the substring. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Um,
the edge case that you're gonna have to look out for is it wants the longest substring that occurs at least 3 times, right? So maybe you'd have a situation where one string occurs 3 times, but one string also occurs 4 times, and then you would want to return the length of the one that occurs 4 times.
I think there's a method like .count in Python. Use to determine the number of characters in a specified element within various data structures, primary strings, lists, and tuples. I think you can do like. This is probably cheating. Substring dot count. What do we pass in here? No, wait. I think this is meant to be S here, actually. We pass an S and then we count the substring.
Yeah, that seems like it's something, I think. Wait, so why is that if counts? What are you checking for?
If the substring that we're looking at, so we're looping through here. So I'm thinking we check in here, right? I think this .count method pretty much does everything for you. Like, you loop through here, grab this A, check how many times, check if this is inside of here. I think it returns. I have to see what this returns because I don't know. Hang on. I think this will return a. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna just see what this returns. Print. Is greater than if trying to think here, bro. I think this returns an integer, dude. Output.
Yeah, it probably recurs the occurrences.
Yeah. So if we
Like,
if this.
like, don't you just want to keep like some sort of max outside of the string, and then if the count is greater than the max, then set it.
Yeah. So well, we can probably have. I guess we can set this to. Like.
Wait, why a float?
Just set it to negative infinity. It's just like the way in Python that you can set like the most negative value possible. So
you can just set that to an int.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
Okay.
If s dot, we can do. Would this work then? I don't know.
Yeah, that would work. And then you just want to return like a ternary statement saying like if res is less than 3, -1, else res.
I think you can do this like if return res if you're gonna find this funny if res does not equal
Oh, yeah, that is already kind of cursed.
float inf else -1.
Oh. Okay.
Nope.
Because it's not seen. Okay, so you're because the single A, I guess, counted 4 times, right? Or wait, what is the string that you go to the first case? Like, look, the single A counted 4 times.
Okay.
And that's not the longest substring.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably where your logic breaks down. I guess like you'd have to do some sort of extra checking in the second for loop with the way that you're going.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Shit, dude. So we're probably gonna need some extra, probably if statement, right? I would assume we'd have to check.
Well, yeah, there's like two constraints, right? You need to check for the longest occurrence, like the highest frequency, but also the longest length of the substring. Like, I guess when you're trying to update res, you can check like if the substring is like, okay, because s.count substring is going to count the substring occurrence in the string, right? And then you're just setting the max equal to the max of the current max and that count. But you could also just check like, hey, like you basically need to store, yeah, like the string and the result, right? And then compare the lengths. But you probably don't need to store the string. You probably just need to store the length of the string, right? I guess it doesn't really matter.
Um. My gosh, dude. Maybe we can just do. We can store the length here, right? So we can do string length is equal to. Oh, whoops. Length of substring, right? We can check. Okay, well, if I'm trying to think of this logic, bro. Holy shit.
Well, you just need to, so you're currently just keeping track of so res, right, is being set to the amount of times the certain substring has appeared in the string.
Yeah.
You just also need to maintain some sort of variable outside the loop for the maximum string length, right? Like the maximum substring length out of all of the substrings in the set.
Uh.
Because like you just need to find the combination of longest substring and most occurrences.
Yeah, right. I have to think about this more. Holy shit, dude. Man, you think about it so quick, dude. I'm fucking so slow, dude.
Bro, dude, I've just been doing it for too long at this point.
Dude. Shit, man. So impressive how fast you can think about it, dude. Because dude, it takes me so long. Okay. So, let's. Okay, let me think about this, right? So, I got this here, right? What we want to make this if statement, right? So, we'd probably want to. Let me switch the color, dude. How the fuck do I switch the color? I want to go to bed soon, dude. I have to get up early, so I just want to get this problem done. So we want to check probably if the length. Let's do the length of the sub. Right.
Right, because you're like right now you're iterating through all of these strings
Yeah.
in the set.
Yeah. So the length of the sub is greater than the length of max length. Greater than max length.
Yeah, and right, the count is more.
And What are you saying? The count is more, so this here s dot count is more.
Yeah.
And s dot count is greater than
res in this case.
res. Should probably name my variables better, but okay.
Also, like technically, if you just set res to -1, it would be sufficient for
we can't have
because
negatives. We can't.
well, I mean,
No.
yeah, the length of a string can't. Well, I mean, the length of a substring can't possibly be negative.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else?
No, I mean these meet our two constraints, right? Like we need to return the longest substring that also occurs the most.
Yeah. Okay. So the string is greater than the max length and s dot substring greater than res. And while we can take the max here.
Well, you don't need to do the max operation anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's true. Res is equal to s dot.
Also, s dot count is probably a for loop, so like realistically, you'd want to cache it, I guess, like not call it twice, but it doesn't really matter.
That is true. Yeah. Hell yeah, I dropped. Hell yeah, I dropped leak code at 2sum 8 guess. This is my feed. Is a sign to level up. Let's go, dude. Yeah.
You're inspiring him, bro.
Inspiring, dude. Let's go. Are you a CS graduate? I am, dude. I am. I graduated about a year ago. Okay.
Well, so your return statement also just needs a bit of work because
oh yeah, shit. Okay. Yeah, this
like we need to return -1 if res is less than 3.
Okay.
Like if you read the second, or I guess technically third paragraph, the way that they broke it up in the problem, right? Return the length of the longest special substring of s, which occurs at least 3 times, or -1 if no special substring occurs at least 3 times.
Okay. So we can return res if res is
greater than or equal to 3.
Equal to 3, else -1. Ooh.
So it looks like your logic isn't working out somewhere.
Yeah.
Because you're still counting the A 4 times. Oh, you're not updating the max length in the if check.
I'm not updating the max length. Oh.
No, max
okay,
length is always 0.
So what? Max length is equal to what?
Len
Res,
substring.
right?
No, len substring.
Oh yeah. True. Now we're getting -1. Well, we get -1 for everything. Yeah. The length substrings. Bro, this is driving me insane right now.
I mean, mean, your logic seems sound. I'm not really sure what
If the length is
is. I guess ultimately, like, you could add some print statements since you don't have a debugger, right, to see what's going wrong here. Also, I mean, you can just remove that string length variable, right? Like on line 15, you don't really need that.
Oh shit. If the length of our current substring is greater than our max length, right? In this case here, it would be. And s.count substring is greater than res.
The count should be 1.
That's so weird. Why the fuck is it -1?
Well, so the result is most likely like less than 3 somehow. I guess like what you could do, right, just as the minimum debugging step is like just always return result and see what the value is.
Output 1.
So yeah. Oh,
Was there something wrong with this? Res.
hold on. So, okay, so here's the problem. In order for this to work, you'd need to sort the set because it's hitting. So what's happening is it's hitting the length 4 first, and that's
Yeah.
always longer than all of the other substrings, right?
Yeah.
And since we're using an and check, if one of those conditions fails, it'll never hit the if check again. So like,
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Damn, bro, that would have taken me way longer to spot. You saw that pretty quick. Okay. So what? I probably have to sort it here, right?
I mean, so by nature, right? Sets are unsorted. I don't know. Like usually they can't be sorted.
I'm not sure.
Like I don't know. Usually,
You
like at
sort
least
this in Python. I have no idea, dude. I wouldn't know.
because like internally they use something called buckets.
Yeah. It's a raise an error. Okay, that doesn't work.
So like I guess for this you'd probably have to convert it to a list and then sort it or something like that. I guess like wildly inefficient, but it should solve the problem.
Yeah, and then we get a TLE, and that's sorted list.
So you can just pass in a set here.
Sort of list. See what we just do. We want a list here, right? And then what we want to sort this, right? So we go sorted underscore list dot sort, right? And then convert it back to a hash heap, right? Convert it back to a hash set.
Well, I guess like you don't really need to convert it back to a hash set, right? I mean, do you?
Maybe not, actually. I think you're right, yeah.
Like you just need the contiguous elements.
Let's see. I have no idea, bro.
Also, hold on. Is dot sort a member of list? Like is list a class?
To be honest, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure this works. I'm pretty sure this sorts it, so.
There we go.
Dot sort. Okay. Let's just see. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I'm printing. Printing this. Let me. Okay, so it did sort it.
So that is working then. So then now we're hitting A first, and then we're checking. So now I guess that doesn't make much sense because the count. Like, what is s.count actually doing? Like, what is that returning? Like, you should print that out each loop iteration. Well, this is inside the if check.
Yeah. Print. I'm actually not sure, bro. I didn't really look too much into it, but
because it should be
4,
4,
2,
3.
1.
Okay.
That's
Wait, so that's not.
No, that's
Oh,
not
so no,
right.
that's not gonna work.
Yeah,
That will
yeah.
not work because it's okay. Yeah, it's doing like a night. It's doing like a proper check, but it's like segmenting by substring indices instead of like being inclusive about it like they want. So like this is where you need the sliding window, I think, right?
Yeah. Okay. Fuck, bro.
Again, I don't want to lead you astray with the sliding window proposal. Like again, I'm not super familiar with the algorithms used on LeetCode, so you should probably check the topics to be sure. Yeah, sliding window.
Sliding window hash table string. Oh, that guy binary search did. There you go.
They do.
That dude
There
was
you
right.
go.
I did not see that, but
I mean, it makes sense for this part, but I thought
Yeah.
he was trying to apply a binary search to like create the set or the map.
yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it, bro, because for me to implement that, it's gonna take a little bit, and I gotta go to bed, dude. I gotta be up for the gym, so it's 11:30.
Okay.
I'm gonna be so tired. I'm like,
Most of the code is here though.
yeah, I'll
Like
finish
you
it.
just need to implement the sliding window.
I'll finish it tomorrow. So, anyway,
Sounds good.
thank you guys for watching, dude. Oh, hi from Egypt. I will study backend Node.js. What you think? Yeah, dude, that's awesome, dude. If it's what you like, dude, just keep doing it. Keep doing what you like. So that's my only advice. But
If your goal is to do like backend website server infrastructure, you should probably like research how they work on a broad level before diving into something as specific as Node.js though.
there you go. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Join the Discord below. Be fun. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. See you guys later.